The applause started before I even understood what he was doing. I was sitting at the long table near the front of the ballroom, my hands folded calmly in my lap, smiling the way women learn to smile when they've spent a lifetime making other people comfortable. My husband stood up beside the microphone, champagne glass raised, his voice confident, proud. "Before we continue," he said, "there's someone special I want you all to meet." I felt it before I saw it. That slight tightening in the chest. That quiet instinct that whispers, this is about to hurt. He turned toward the side of the room and held out his hand. "This," he said, smiling broadly, "is the woman who will be standing beside me from now on." A young woman in a fitted cream dress stepped forward. And then he added the words that split my life clean in two. "She's my wife." For a moment, the room forgot how to breathe. Some people laughed nervously. Some clapped, unsure if they were supposed to. A few turned slowly to look at me. I kept smiling. Because in exactly 10 minutes, my husband would lose his house, his company, and the future he thought he had stolen from me. My name is Eleanor Hayes. I'm 59 years old. And that night was supposed to be my retirement party. 32 years earlier, I met Thomas Hayes in a dusty office with flickering lights and broken air conditioning. He was ambitious, charming, and visibly hungry for success. I was quieter, observant, the kind of woman people underestimate because she doesn't need to announce herself. He spoke about dreams. I spoke about plans. We married young, before money entered the room and changed the way people looked at us. Back then, all we had were secondhand furniture, unpaid bills, and belief. And for a long time, belief was enough. When Thomas decided to start his own company, everyone praised his courage. They called him brave, visionary. No one mentioned that the startup capital came from my savings. No one noticed my name on the paperwork. No one asked who stayed up nights fixing mistakes, so his image stayed clean. I didn't mind. I believed partnership meant trust. Over the years, success wrapped itself around Thomas like a tailored suit. He learned how to speak louder, walk faster, take credit smoother. I became the wife. The supportive one. The quiet one. At board dinners, people spoke over me. At events, they asked what Thomas did. Never what I had done. I smiled through all of it. Because I knew the truth. The company existed because I made sure it survived. The retirement party was Thomas's idea. "You've given enough," he told me one evening, pouring himself a drink. "It's time you slow down and enjoy life." He sounded generous, thoughtful. I didn't question it. He booked the ballroom downtown, the one with crystal chandeliers and marble floors. He invited executives, investors, old friends, even distant relatives who barely knew me. "You deserve to be celebrated," he said. Looking back, I realize now men like Thomas don't spend money unless they're buying control. That night, I dressed carefully. Not glamorous. Not fragile. I wanted to look like a woman at peace with herself. Thomas, however, looked electric. Restless. Almost relieved. I didn't know yet that he believed this night would erase me. When he introduced Vanessa, the air changed. She was young. Polished. Nervous in a way that comes from rehearsing a role too many times. Her smile was tight, uncertain. She avoided my eyes. That told me everything. Thomas spoke confidently about new chapters and honesty. He framed betrayal as bravery, as if confessing publicly transformed cruelty into courage. "This isn't easy," he said, squeezing her hand. "But life moves forward." People watched me carefully, waiting for a reaction. I gave them none, because while Thomas was performing, my mind went somewhere else. 3 months earlier, I hadn't gone looking for the truth. It found me. A forgotten laptop on the dining table. A notification blinking softly. A name I didn't recognize. I read everything. Plans. Promises. Complaints about me. Jokes about how I wouldn't understand. I closed the laptop calmly. Then I made one phone call. The lawyer didn't ask how I felt. He asked what I wanted. "I want to know exactly what's mine," I said. What we discovered shocked even me. Thomas had trusted me too much, or underestimated me completely. Every major asset traced back to my signature. My accounts. My inheritance. He was the face. I was the spine. And spines don't bend easily. Back in the ballroom, Thomas raised his glass again. I want to thank Eleanor, he said, finally turning toward me, for supporting me through the years. Support. The word landed wrong. I wish her happiness in whatever comes next. That was my cue, the moment he expected tears. Instead, I stood and lifted my glass. To new beginnings, I said evenly. Some people clapped. Some looked confused. At that exact moment, the side door opened. The lawyer stepped in, quiet and precise, carrying a folder thick with truth. He waited until Thomas sat down. Then he approached the microphone. Mr. Hayes, he said calmly. Thomas frowned. Yes, I'm here on behalf of Eleanor Hayes. The room shifted. I stood beside him. At 7:42 p.m., the lawyer continued. All company accounts were frozen. Thomas laughed, loud and dismissive. That's impossible, he said. I own the company. The lawyer didn't raise his voice. No, sir, he replied. You never did. Silence fell hard. He explained ownership, documents, registrations. Each sentence stripped another layer of Thomas's confidence. Vanessa stepped back slowly. Thomas looked at me, panic replacing arrogance. This is a misunderstanding, he said. Eleanor, tell them. I met his eyes. It's not, I said. It's paperwork. The lawyer continued. Your access to all financial instruments has been revoked. Thomas's hand trembled. Vanessa whispered. You said it was yours. He didn't answer. She looked at me then, really looked. I didn't know, she said softly. I nodded. It didn't matter. I turned to the guests. This was meant to be my retirement party, I said. And in a way, it still is. I picked up my purse. I'm retiring from a marriage built on deception. I walked away as whispers followed me. Behind me, Thomas called my name. I didn't turn, because power doesn't argue. It exits. Outside, the city hummed quietly. For the first time in years, I felt untethered, not broken, not angry. Free. He thought he was replacing me. What he didn't know was that I was reclaiming everything.